J. Cole previewed some new music this week and some studio footage. We're going to break down the vlog that he posted in anticipation of his upcoming album, The Fall Off. What's up, y'all? I'm Devon here again for Obligatory. We do a weekly music news segment on this channel every Friday, so come get your music news here every Friday. Today is February 23rd, 2024. At the end of these episodes, we always have our editor's picks for new releases of the week. If you want to see full new releases, go to Obligatory on Instagram. And then we also have the albums coming next week, albums coming next month, and albums coming the rest of the year at the end of this video, so stay tuned. But we're going to break down J. Cole posting a vlog this week to a sort of a burner Instagram account with the handle might delete later. So this video vlog is pretty cool. It is worth a watch. It's about 5 or 6 minutes and does contain a snippet of a music video, but also does contain some tour footage. You see appearances from Drake and Boss. You see J. Cole meeting or running into Lil Durk at one point. And then another thing you see here is some studio time and some studio sessions. For instance, J. Cole and Tay Keith in the studio together, kind of previewing some beats. Also on that note, a little bit different, there is a point in here where J. Cole mentions the day before being in the studio around or with Metro Boomin. So from this, I couldn't tell if they had run into each other or if they had planned on hanging out or actually working in the studio together, but he mentioned getting to watch Metro Boomin put some beats together, and maybe he's a person that we'll see make an appearance on this upcoming album. But The Fall Off, which is this long foretold album from J. Cole that is supposed to be his last and final project. And I'm not gonna lie, the song that shows up about 3 or 4 minutes into this vlog is pretty damn good, and it's certainly piquing my interest. This seems like the first step in stoking the flames with fans, just to remind them that the fall off is coming. And I think that since it's so early in the year, we could probably try to expect this in 2024. Again, that's not a concrete detail there, but we will have to wait and see. And I would say secondary to J. Cole, I was most excited to see Action Bronson kind of come out of nowhere to post a tweet saying that he's finishing up his new album, and to even throw the album title out there, Johan, Sebastian, Bachlava, The Doctor. And then we got another really quick and succinct Jpegmafia update on his upcoming album, which he says is, quote, around the corner. That's in a recent Instagram photo set that he posted, and that's pretty much the news. Now, at the beginning of the year, we did an episode on this Friday news segment, kind of based around Jpegmafia announcing that he was really close to releasing this album on January 1st at the start of this year. But he has since decided to keep tinkering and working away at this album, and maybe March is the month. Maybe that's going to be a thing. And then the Weeknd continues to tease a third installment, a third sequel in the After Hours Dawn FM series. We have one message with the first photo, and we have another message at the end of this photo set. And in the middle, we also see some footage of him actually inside this theater, playing some home footage of him in his 6th birthday up on the big silver screen. I would say the biggest question I have right now is sonically, what is he planning on doing with this project? Because each of these two past projects have been big on the synth pop and some of the 80s infusions of those sounds. And I'm wondering if there's going to be a new page turned on this at all. Again, nothing to really go off of, nothing super concrete here, no real timeline, but you figure that we're getting this update early enough in the year that it feels like 2024 is the year for another Weeknd album. We're also getting more Brockhampton solo music this week, as last week we got a Matt Champion single with a video, and it kind of feels like he's going to drop an album at some point soon. Well, Don McLennon is the next to drop some music. Today, we got a new EP from him that feels like it's in anticipation of an album. And so it might be Brockhampton's solo season. We already got some Kevin Abstract music recently, and it seems like a lot of the guys are coming with their own stuff and posting and being more active online as well. I'm generally seeing with a lot of the guys. So DJ Premier was another artist to come out with some album release news here this week, and he reconfirmed that him and Royce the 5'9" are still currently actively working on a Prhyme 3 album. So if you're familiar with this series, it was a pretty big deal to see all-time legendary and mega influential producer DJ Premier unite with Royce the 5'9", who is an all-time tier lyricist. Prhyme 1 and Prhyme 2 have been pretty big in some spaces of hip-hop, but it feels like, you know, the kind of stuff that we cover, not so much. I personally really like these albums, though. They are super solid, and I think it's time for a third one. I think it probably isn't coming anytime soon. You know, I wonder if it's even going to be a 2024 release. But again, it's nice to know that they are working on this thing, because it's been a couple years since the last update that I remember getting on this album. And so we hope with all that time put into it, that it's going to be a pretty good project. And if you're a Boldy James fan like I am, then I know you're just waiting and waiting to hear more updates and figure out when we're going to be hearing his J.Dilla produced album. Now, if you recall, it was like in 2022, he first mentioned that he was going to be releasing an album with essentially the last of unearthed J.Dilla beats that have been in vaults forever at this point. Even saying it now, I cannot believe that this is a real thing. Boldy James is one of my favorite rappers now and essentially of all time. And J.Dilla is J.Dilla. And this seems like on paper, it could be such an incredible thing. I really hope it stacks up. But we are getting the first taste of this here really soon. And there will be a J.Dilla celebration concert event that is happening this week in Detroit. And Boldy James will be headlining the event. And he says he will be playing some new music, playing some unreleased music from this Drug Dilla album. The title of the album is Drug Dilla. If you want to kind of get the lowdown on what we know about Drug Dilla and just Boldy James as of recent, I would say check out this Stereo Gum interview we have linked down in the description. And that concert event is taking place on the 27th, and so we're going to get our first taste of Drug Dilla at that point. And then really shifting gears here into pop music, but Charli XCX has definitely got an album coming sometime soon. She's got a new single coming out next week titled Von Dutch. And then she was also recently featured in a cover piece in an interview with The Face magazine, which you can also read part of it online. Again, linked in the description. The working title for this album so far is XCX6, and she talks a little bit about it, about the sound that she's been working towards, which she says is a little more ravey, a little more club-inspired, and it feels like it should turn a page from her last album, Crash, which felt to be a little bit more on the pop side of things. I think one of the pieces of this interview that really got legs and was published on a lot of different platforms was news that a song on this upcoming album is going to be dedicated to Sophie. And then Normani, the former Fifth Harmony singer Normani, announced the title and cover art for her upcoming album, which has been long awaited. This one's titled Dopamine. And she's also previewing a little bit of new music. We got a snippet, I think, posted to Twitter, maybe on Instagram as well. And from there, like everything else we're talking about today, no release date, no other really strong details, but at least it's coming and sometime soon. And that is the full slate of album teasers, which this week was just the week of album teasers with no real concrete details. But I would say that that's really the news for this week. So let's move on to notable new releases and editors' picks. Again, if you want to get the full slate of new releases, because there kind of was a lot, go to obligatory Instagram. But some of the stuff that I'm paying more attention to myself is the new MGMT album dropped today, new albums from Eric the Architect of Flatbush Zombies, of course, and Real Estate, as well as a deluxe version of Insane by Kid Cudi released this week as well. We also got the previously mentioned Don McLennon EP titled Prologue, and then the singles were really where it was at this week with SZA dropping a new song. This is crazy, but we also got a clipping cover of the song Tipsy by Jaquan. That shit is crazy. Clipping does it again. That's all I got to say. The band Free Nationals also seems like they're gearing up for some new music as they've released a lead single titled Gangsta featuring A$AP Rocky and Anderson .Paak. And then Stally from Rick Ross's Maybach Music, who's been really under the radar over the last several years, released a single featuring Kevin Durant. Yes, KD Trey 5. Yes, Slim Reaper. Albums announced this week. It was a pretty light one. This Gene Dawson project was really announced last week, but I personally wasn't sure if it was an album or a single. Now it seems like the album is titled Boohoo, coming March 8th, so pretty soon. Albums releasing next week is going to be absolutely freaking nuts. I'm just going to run down some of the names: Prize Horse, Mannequin Pussy, Yard Act, Jahari Masamba Unit, again, Madlib and Kareem Riggins, Hist Jeans, Faye Webster, Schoolboy Q. So March is definitely kicking off with a bang, but it doesn't stop there. The rest of the month is pretty banging. We're going to get an Ariana Grande album. We're going to get that Gene Dawson, Tierra Whack, Adrian Lenker, Beyonce, and honestly probably some stuff that has not been announced yet. So buckle up because March looks awesome. Here's the slate for the rest of the year. A bunch of stuff to keep on looking forward to. And that's all the news we have for you this week. We also want to let you know about 2 videos we just dropped this month. We did some Black History Month content, some list videos this month, and we would really like you guys to watch. They're really great. I'm really proud of them. One is a list of our favorite 10 current and active Black Indian hardcore bands and artists that we definitely think you should know about. And then the other is titled Hip Hop Not Dead. So this one is 10 recent rap albums from 2020 to 2024 that we think are keeping hip hop alive. We really don't think hip hop is dead, and we kind of explained so in that video. So those are two videos that if you really like what we do, you gotta check those out. And we do these news videos every single week, so I will be back next Friday to give y'all another news update and hopefully a new roundup of upcoming projects to be on the lookout for. But we really appreciate you watching to the end of this video, and clicking the like button is another way to really just help us out and do us a solid. Thanks again for watching. I'm Devon, this is Obligatory, and we will be back next week on Friday, so see you then. Peace.